Hello and welcome to Art with Bazaar, a series by Harper's Bazaar Arabia that takes you through the art and culture scene of the UAE and beyond. I'm Ayesha Shehmir, and today we are at Louvre Abu Dhabi, the first universal museum in the Arab world that showcases both ancient and contemporary artworks. Today we're going to explore exactly what the museum has to offer and see some of the masterpieces you can encounter during a visit here. Come with me. We are here with Manuel Rabaté, Director of Louvre Abu Dhabi, who has been with the museum since its inauguration in 2016. Manuel, can you tell us about the evolution of the museum since and all the ways it has contributed to the art landscape in the region and beyond?
I actually have spent another decade before preparing the museum because actually it took 10 years from the signature of the agreement between Paris and Abu Dhabi to get to the point we are here with this incredible museum. So in terms of evolution or track record, we can celebrate the fact that we welcome more than 5.5 million visitors since the opening, including the years of COVID, which were of course for the whole industry, for tourism and for everyone a difficult moment. So last year we welcomed 1.2 million visitors, which is positioning us as the 52nd museum in the world as per the criteria of the art newspaper. And we have managed to propose a very new, reinventing, universal narrative, a story of the world, connected story of the world, to people who are at the same time tourists, 72%, and resident Emirati and people living in the UAE for 28%.
And what is one exhibition the museum has hosted in the past that you think has been groundbreaking in terms of expanding art education in the region?
We have an intensive and extensive program of exhibitions, which are always sort of spin-off of the DNA of the Louvre Abu Dhabi. At the same time, a very in-depth exhibition called Letters of Light, Uluf min Noor, which was proposing to study more than 300 sacred objects coming from the three monotheism. And you had incredibly precious Torah, you had beautiful Bibles, and you had incredible pages on Quran, Holy Quran, all together presented in respect and showing the similarities, the echo, what they share, and sometimes also what they don't share. So it was a beautiful exhibition, which is really about what the UAE are, I would say, and what Louvre Abu Dhabi tries to translate this coexistence, this respect, this aspiration also to the respect for the spirituality and that come from within, or that can be the spirituality of the earth.
And the Louvre Abu Dhabi Art Year exhibition and the Richard Mille Art Prize were initiated to question the place of contemporary art in the Arab world. Can you tell us more about the vision behind this initiative and how you hope it'll shape the future of art in the region?
The Louvre Abu Dhabi has to be a place for artists. It has to be a place of inspiration and a place where you can discover art. So from the opening, we were looking for the best way to invite creativity of today and to react. So we do this exhibition called Art Here, which is made by Louvre Abu Dhabi, and Richard Mille supports us to do so, and they give the prize, a very well-dotted prize, to one of the artists. So this very demanding process and this very interesting prize at the end are creating an emulation, and they allow us to strengthen the maturity of some artists. So this is not an exhibition for emergent artists. We have other friends and partners who have the mandate of supporting emerging scene, which is also very important. It's at the beginning of the pipe.
It's incredible. And can you share some insight on your role of contributing to the museum's growing collection, as well as the creation of its conservation and documentation center?
Challenge of having a universal collection, which means we are covering, as I was saying, 10,000 years of history on all all geographies. So you can imagine how broad it is, which means that the collection has to find the best objects from all this period and all these spaces to tell the universal stories. So we have internally inside the organization curators who are specialists. They are specialists and generalists at the same time because they need to find the best object, but they also need to have them in this overall discussion. So it's really challenging for them, but they are the ones that are gathering this object, and then we have access to network.
And how closely do you work with Musée du Louvre? In what ways do the museums inspire one another?
Now, to answer that, you need to you need to go back really to the name. The name of the museum is Louvre Abu Dhabi, so both are together. When you put these two very strong names side by side, you have this new connected story of humanity. So the relationship that we have with the Louvre is on partnership level. We are receiving from them advice, expertise, access to the network, and they help us to stay at this level of quality that we want, but the quality required by Louvre and by Abu Dhabi. So they help us being at this level of quality. They also support us in providing artworks. So we have the collection, we mentioned that, but we also have the loans, which have been on rotation since the opening in 2017. So we have in our galleries artworks coming from the French collection and some incredible masterpieces. You can see them almost in, not better, but in a different way here than you would see them in France.
Thank you so much, Manuel. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Sheer pleasure.
Now I'm here with Mariam Al-Dahiri from the museum's curatorial team, who is going to show us some incredible artworks from the museum's permanent collection, as well as one very special work that has come here from Paris. Now this artwork is very special, and it was on display in Musée du Louvre's permanent gallery since the early 20th century, and it has left for the very first time to be exhibited at Louvre Abu Dhabi. Mariam, why is this work so special?
So this artwork, called the Pyxis with the name Prince al-Mughira, is one of the masterpieces of Musée du Louvre, and especially of the Department of Islamic Arts. So we created this room to celebrate it and to show the context of where it came from. It came from Medinat al-Zahra, which is in Spain, south of Spain, in Andalusia, near Cordoba. And this piece was gifted from a mother to a prince, while his half-brother was actually ruling the region or the area. What's quite iconic about this piece is that it's carved from ivory, so elephant tusk. And you can say that actually it's one piece of the tusk, but divided into two, which is the cover, the top cover, and the body. On the body, you have several scenes, and what we created is this projection of the details of what you see on the piece. It's only about 20 centimeters, but there's so much detail and intricate work, which shows the mastery of the carver, especially with ivory. And so we can see animals, we can see vegetal motifs. So for example, for the animals, we have gazelles, dogs, lions, and other birds and so on. For vegetal motifs, you can clearly see flowers and leaves and trees. For example, here we have the date palm, where we have two people picking dates from the palm tree. And then we have a very important aspect of this piece that tells us a lot about its history, which is the text in Arabic. The text in Arabic is engraved on the cover, and it's blessings to the Prince al-Mughira, who passed away, which is mentioned here. So we know that this piece was created after or given after his passing. We know who it was given to, thanks to the text. And we also know the date. It mentions the exact date, an Islamic Hijra year.
And this artwork by Striegel is a masterpiece of German Renaissance and showcases the artist's stylistic evolution towards Renaissance painting with its strong contrast of colors. What can you tell us about this specific work?
So this pair of angels, Thurifer angels, both carry incense burners. One on the right is in purple tunic and on the left is in yellow tunic. And we've combined them together side by side as they were separated for over 200 years. They were created by the same artist, Striegel, for an altarpiece, and they were showing more general scene of a natural landscape, which you can see in the background, and only these two pair of angels in the foreground. And of course, accompanied by other aspects of art with different figures. What we can say is that as the Renaissance began in 1450, this is dated much later, so a little bit after 1520, which is why it is considered more of a Renaissance piece, even though the artist Striegel was more known for his Gothic art. So part of these paintings, actually, we have the presence of frankincense, which was actually sourced from the Arabian Peninsula. Here we have the incense burner open, there we have it closed. And that was part of, and still is part of, the Christian faith.
And this work is a masterpiece from the best decade of the Impressionist period. What does it represent?
So here we have a painting by Pierre-Auguste Renoir, French artist, showing a bourgeois, aristocratic woman, Parisian woman. So she's dressed in a very luxurious manner. She's wearing a ring that indicates that she's married. And we have, of course, the Oriental aspect, a little Oriental touch here, right on her lap. This model, her name is actually Margot. She's referred to Margot. She was Renoir's model for a few years. And we can say that she was in her 20s in this painting. She passed away earlier on, actually, in her 20s due to an illness. But she was a good friend, a close friend of the artist, and she frequently modeled for him.
And this work by Picasso represents a phase in the artist's life when the degree of abstraction was so extreme that the objects become unrecognizable. Can you tell us more about this movement and what is so special about this specific work?
So the Cubism art movement started with Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. And so a few years before this painting, this one specifically is a series of portraits of musicians. Here we vaguely see a woman playing the mandolin, musical instrument. The idea of Cubism is to create in 2D several angles or perspectives all at once. So we see a little bit of the face over here, we see a little bit of the musical instrument over here, and Picasso uses actually neutral colors in this painting.
Thanks for watching this episode of Art with Bazaar, and we'll see you next time.